Hey everyone, we are going to take a look at the Raw Traders expansion. So this is a expansion for the game Raw. So a couple of important things here to know on it. This is specifically for that most recent printing of it from 25th Century Games. The older versions of it there won't work because the components will be different. Additionally, there are two different versions of Raw that were made here from 25th Century. You have the Standard Edition, and then you have the Pharaoh Edition, which is what I have. You have to get the traders that matches your base game, and that is because the tiles are different in them, and you need the tiles to match so that when you mix the new tiles in here with all of the others from the base game, they will match. You need it so that when you put the tiles from traders in there, that they look and feel the same, because the base game has cardboard tiles versus these wooden ones on the Pharaoh Edition. Additionally, there is like Sun God Edition is the base game and traders with acrylic tiles instead of cardboard or wood ones, so those are a little bit different. I can't speak for the regular edition version, but this one, the expansion does fit in the base game box, so that is nice. What all is in it? Well, you're going to have these little things here which expand the player boards. You're going to have 20 of these traders tiles. I don't have all 20 of them out. Most of them are in the bag here already. Comes with a bag for storing things, some additional 10-point coins just to bring up the currency in the game. Then you're going to have the crates, the small crates which represent 1 crate, and the large crates which represent 3 crates. It also has just a very simple little rule page here, which is made out of that same type of material as the base game rule book, which is really nice. So what's going on with this? Well, let's go ahead and set up a couple boards here. You just take your boards from the regular game. You add these to the top right there. So we're going to see here that we have a spot for these tiles to go right there. And that's where these tiles will go, with all the others going into their normal spots. We'll see with this being here on the side with the discard, that after the end of every epic, these will be discarded. And we can also see that they are scored on all 3 epics. Whenever a player adds a trader tile to their board. Okay, and this is going to be when they actually win one in an auction and add it to their board, or if they grab one with a god tile. But only when they put it on their board, not when it goes on the... I'm not talking about when it goes out on the auction track. That's not what we're talking about there. When it's actually placed onto a board, this player will put it here. Any other players that have trader tiles will get 1 crate for each of their trader tiles. So we'll just kind of simulate it here with 2 players, which this really doesn't do a lot with 2 players. Kind of gets a little better with more. But we'll say this guy right here adds 1 first. Well, basically nothing else much happens here because no one else has 1. We'll say next this player adds 1 here. So this player will get a crate for the one that he had there. Okay, if this one were to add another one, then that player gets a crate for the one that he has there. If he adds 1 here, then this player is going to end up getting 2, because he has 2, and so he's getting 2 for that one that was there. If it goes really big, this guy ends up getting 2 in his auction there and adds 2. Well, then this one, it's going to double because it was 2 that came down, So he's going to get 2 for that one, and then get 2 for that one. And at the end of the epic, you get 1 point for each tile and 1 point for each crate. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. And that's the base of what is going on here. You know, if he adds 1 here, then this guy would get 4 for having 4 tiles there. So it gets interesting that you're kind of like doing a lot for other players when you grab these. So you want to get these earlier in the epic and not necessarily later, because you're just kind of giving your opponents points there. Although you're getting some, your opponents are getting more. And it depends on how many points they all have. You might be okay with somebody getting some points if they're not the one that's putting you in the position to lose. So one thing to think about on this, and this is something that a lot of people mentioned online, you have these tiles that are in there. When these and the other ones that are with it go in there, that's 20 more tiles that have gone in there. So now the odds of pulling out the other tiles have now shifted, because you've got these other 20 tiles in there. The big ones that will affect will be the raw tiles, because now your chances of pulling out a raw tile are a little bit less. So that will kind of potentially make those auctions come out a little bit less often. How much does it affect it? It affects the odds starting the game by about 2%. Now, as the game goes on and tiles come out, the odds constantly shift. But we're looking as a whole, the percentage of raw tiles in here has shifted by about like 1.6%. So not a whole lot. It does affect it, but it's also adding something else to the game there. And it's adding something that's actually pretty simple to it, that this is not a really complicated expansion. It doesn't add a whole lot to it as far as like gameplay, as far as rules and things you have to know, but strategy wise, it can add a good bit, which are the type of, that is the type of expansions that I really like there. Not rules heavy, but just has a lot of ramifications to it otherwise. And we'll show you here that these all do fit in here pretty cleanly. I've got some 3D printed trays here, mainly to hold the sun discs in place. But you'll see that it doesn't really, that doesn't change things drastically there as far as how things are stored. Goes in here, you know, pretty easily into the base game there. So you don't have to have the whole thing take up room on the shelf, although that little box there doesn't take up a whole lot of room. But that is basically Raw Traders. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and a like. You can go down to the comments section and let me know what you think of it down there. And you can also subscribe to my channel to make sure you catch all the videos that I post so you don't miss anything. This is Jeremy with Poindexter G, and we'll see you around next time.